The second half of the season begins Friday for the Dallas Mavericks, and I need you guys to hit that subscribe button if you want to join us for the ride. It's going to be a hell of a last 25 or 26 games or so be sure to stay tuned to Mavericks Today by Chat Sports as we're covering all of the latest news and rumors, doing live watch parties, giving you real-time analysis on everything surrounding the Dallas Mavericks. So hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop right into today's show. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. There's not a whole lot to talk about here surrounding the Mavericks as they do play their first game on Friday against the New Orleans Pelicans out of the All-Star break. So I figured it would be a good time to revisit this report. Could the Mavericks explore a trade for Kevin Durant in the 2025 NBA offseason? It's definitely a possibility, and let's talk about it. Before we do, though, I want to ask you guys, do you want the Mavericks to trade for Kevin Durant? If you do, type T for trade. If you don't, type P for pass. I'm going to explain everything here in just a few moments. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. You may get hit with a YouTube ad break, and if you do, go on down there and get your votes in. Here is the report from Ian Begley of SNY, who is super plugged in all around the NBA. He said, I was told that the Mavericks were very aggressive trying to find other teams to get involved so they can make the math work and bring Kevin Durant to Dallas. He said that right after the trade deadline and that the Mavericks were involved as early as the Wednesday before the Thursday trade deadline, aggressively trying to pursue Kevin Durant. It obviously didn't happen there, but I don't think the trade is dead whatsoever, and this is something that Nico Harrison could certainly revisit in the 25 NBA offseason. When you look at Kevin Durant and what he's done over the last 4 years, he's still an elite player. This year, averaging 27 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, over 50% from the field, over 40 from three. One of the best scorers the NBA has ever seen. And despite him aging, he's still a really good player. I think KD is probably still an all-NBA caliber player at this point, certainly an all-NBA caliber scorer. And the fact that he did not want to go to Golden State kind of opens the possibility of him wanting to come to potentially the Mavericks in the offseason. Now, we know that KD didn't want to leave Phoenix, but they kind of just were exploring deals for him, and the Kevin Durant for Jimmy Butler thing didn't work out, so he ended up staying with the Suns. But I think now that Durant knows that his name was in trade rumors, he could certainly be a trade asset this offseason. Now, he does have 1 year left on his contract next season at $54.7 million. And I do think if you were to trade for KD, you would certainly have to extend him as well. I think it would be kind of a LeBron-type extension, a 1+1 year deal where it'll be whatever his max is plus a player option for that second season. So that's kind of what I think it would take to get Kevin Durant. Again, it would probably take a multi-team deal with at least 3, maybe even 4 teams involved in order for him to land in Dallas. But I do think this is something that Nico Harrison would potentially pursue once again in the offseason, giving the direction that the Mavericks are going and the direction that Nico Harrison wants to take them. Whether you agree with it or not, this is what he wants to do. And I think it could be very interesting if the Mavericks were to end up with KD. We'll talk more Kevin Durant here in just a few moments, but I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor, which of course is PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks has over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, making daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just make more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. The second half of the season is almost here, and it is now or never. So don't miss out on the real money action with our friends over at PrizePicks, the best place to get your real money action in over 30 states, including California, Georgia, Florida, and, of course, Texas. They also put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. And I do have a projection for tonight's action and tomorrow's action as well as we get started with the second half of the basketball season. I took the more on LeBron James points against the Charlotte Hornets with 24. I also took the more on Chris Paul assists at 7.5 against the Phoenix Suns tomorrow night. So you can copy my picks or you can make picks of your own. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive that bonus. It is guaranteed. Again, download the app, Use code CLNS to get that $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. That link will be in the comments and the description of today's show. It is Prize Picks. Run your game. So if the Mavericks were to acquire Kevin Durant, it would be quite an interesting scene with Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, and adding KD. That's a lot of championship experience. That's a lot of playoff pedigree that you'd be bringing to the table. The only problem is these guys would be certainly aging here. Look at the potential starting five that this Mavericks team could run out there if they were to acquire KD. You'd have Kyrie and Klay at the guards, Kevin Durant and PJ Washington at the forwards with Derek Lively at the center. That's an extremely formidable lineup, I won't lie to you. Obviously, again, I hate to keep bringing this up, but it doesn't make up for the fact that you traded Luka Doncic and your ceiling will never be as high as it was with him. But this would be Nico Harrison's vision right here. A bunch of guys who have been there and done that, who will defend, who have championship experience, who have played a lot of games in this league. And it aligns with his vision of not ancient, but aging superstars in this league. He didn't want a guy who was coming into his prime. He wanted well-established veterans who maybe are on the back half of their careers trying to get a couple of last runs at a title. I mean, look at the ages of these guys and what they would be in next season. Anthony Davis is going to be 32. Kyrie is going to be 33. Kevin Durant going to be 37. But I still think Durant can play into his 40s. Klay Thompson going to be 36 as well. So this would be your core. And when your best player is 32, like, yeah, that's still a good age and he's still very good, but Anthony Davis is injury prone obviously as well. And a lot of these guys have injury history. Kevin Durant's torn his Achilles before. Klay Thompson's torn his Achilles and his ACL. Kyrie Irving's had his fair share of injury problems. So you're banking on guys who are on the wrong side of 30 with some injury history there. And is that a game that you really want to play if you're the Dallas Mavericks? I think it's a dangerous game to play, but it's obviously the one that Nico Harrison has chosen. And look, if his vision is executed to perfection, it would be the Mavericks winning a championship with all of these guys who are trying to make one last run at it. I can't say I agree with the vision, but I do respect that he does have a plan in place at the very least. Doesn't make up for letting Luka go. Obviously, our heart and soul, I'll never get over it as long as I live. I'll be watching the Lakers game tonight just crying over Luka, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, with these four guys, I do think you can win a championship with these guys playing at their highest levels and if they're healthy. What do you guys think? Could the Mavs win a title with these four, with Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant? Type Y for yes or type N for no. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments. It would be very interesting if the Mavericks were to go out and get Kevin Durant. I don't know if it happens. I don't know if it's even likely or not. But I do think that Nico Harrison will be someone that tries to go and pursue Durant in the offseason because he's been known to try to take the big swings. Took the big swing at Kyrie. Took the big swing in trading Luka for Anthony Davis. Took the big swing in trading Kristaps Porzingis away. Could he make the big swing again and trade for Kevin Durant? It wouldn't shock me whatsoever, but no matter what happens, we will keep you guys up to date with everything surrounding the Dallas Mavericks. Again, we take on the New Orleans Pelicans on Friday to start the second half of the season, so stay tuned for that. We'll see you soon here on the channel.